All right. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me. We'll go ahead and get started here. If you got your questions, go ahead and post them. Should be below the video if you're on a smaller screen like a phone. If you're on a larger screen like a computer, should be to the right of the video where you can post your questions. All right. So we'll go ahead and get started here with Frank. So Frank says, good morning. Lately, as I tee up my tee-ball, I have been hitting these pop-ups. Any thoughts? Typically, pop-ups are going to come from an over-the-top swing. So the reason for this, so what causes a pop-up? So basically the pop-up is caused by the club bottoming out where the ball is, right? If you imagine my fist is the golf ball here, my club is coming down in an arc, it reaches the bottom of that arc where the ball is. What we want to have happen is we want our bottom of our arc to occur before the ball, so that way the club can work up, the driver can work up into the ball. Now, if we're hitting shots off the ground, obviously we want to have a downward movement, but for a driver, we want to have a little bit of an upward movement. That's going to allow us to get a higher launch, lower spin drive that's going to allow us to hit it farther, right? So that's how you want to come in with the driver. So if you're popping it up, it just means that you may be teeing it up too high. That could be part of it, but we're coming in and that club is bottoming out where the ball is. So, obviously I don't know exactly how high you're teeing it. Generally, a good place to start for teeing it up would be about half of the crown of the ball. So where the crown of the ball or the equator of the ball, excuse me, that part of the ball, we want that to kind of match up with the crown of the club when it's sitting on the ground. That gives enough space for this club to kind of work up into the ball a little bit. Now, a lot of this depends on how much you hit up on the ball. If you hit up on the ball a lot, you may want to tee it up a little bit higher. If you come in more level with the ball, you may want to tee it to where, you're kind of coming in and, we're coming in more level. So our club's going to be closer to the ground as it's coming in. So you may want to tee it a little bit lower if that is the case. So a lot of it just depends on how you're coming in. But if you're popping it up, like I said, usually that is from an over-the-top swing. Well, why would that be? Well, when we swing over the top, our club is going to bottom out more toward the target, right? So imagine I'm standing at home plate on a baseball field. I got the pitcher right in front of me here, first base that way, third base that way. So if I swing this club in the direction of third base, where's my club going to bottom out at? It's going to bottom out more in front of my lead foot, right? Now, on the other side of that, if I were to swing more more shallow, more out to the right, where's my club bottoming out? It's going to bottom out more toward my trail foot, right? So my guess is some combination of, my educated guess based on, a lot of things I've seen, is that some combination of maybe teeing the ball a little bit lower and getting the club to work from the inside and shallow and hit up on it more will help you to stop popping it up. So if you want to work on shallowing out the club, I'd highly recommend checking out our 20-minute shallowing fix course. You can work through the course with the driver. You may want to work through it with an iron first because it's a little bit more difficult with the driver. Maybe work on it with an iron first and then work your way up to a driver. If you have trouble, you can certainly try it with the driver first, but if you have trouble with it, you may want to, try it with an iron first and then work your way up to it. But if you want to get to the course, you can click the instruction tab at the top of the screen. And then from the drop-down menu there, click the 20-minute shallowing fix and get started on those drills. So Dale S. says, can you give some guidance on how to train the loading of the front leg to trigger the upward use of the ground force? Yes, step drill. Do the step drill a lot. If you want to check out the step drill, there's a great step-by-step kind of video and drill in the 20-minute distance fix. Clay calls it the sumo step drill in there. So if you want to check out that video, click the instruction tab and then click the 20-minute distance fix. And then the sumo step drill is in week 1. It's the second drill. It's the second outdoor drill in week 1. Go check that out. And then if there's other ways you want, it sounds like you're looking to gain some club head speed and things like that. If you're looking for more ways to gain club head speed, I recommend doing the other drills in the 20-minute distance fix as well. All right, while you guys are coming up with more questions, I'm going to refill my cup here. All right, keep the questions coming. All right. So Willis says pros appear to really finish left on full swings. Is this a result of pulling the handle of the club up and back at impact to compress the ball? Part of it is that, yeah, we're pulling the handle up and through, coming around into a full finish there. Part of it is that they're they're trying to finish in a very similar way every single time, right? That we don't want to have multiple different finishes because that's just going to lead to. Now, if you're hitting different shots, that's one thing, right? So if you're hitting like a lower shot, your finish might be different than like a high shot. Or if you're really trying to hit a big slice, your finish, you may have seen like Tiger with the helicopter finish, right? That's usually because he's usually trying to get a big slice on the ball or something like that. But usually, if it's kind of like a stock shot, they're trying to finish the same every single time. So it's really just a product, more of a product of just a lot of reps. And then, yes, they're pulling the handle up and around, coming around into a full finish. Part of it's flexibility too. Most tour players, most of the best players in the world are fairly flexible people, and they're, it's pretty easy for them to come all the way around, into a full finish. All right, we got about 45 minutes left here. If we got any more questions, if not, no big deal. All right, so JP says, "Hi Q, is the ball then turf masterclass similar to the ball striking masterclass? When will there be openings for the ball then turf masterclass?" So yes, it's similar, but it so in here's how I would kind of describe the difference. So the ball striking masterclass basically focuses on what the big four. So the big four is strike location, ground contact, face angle, and club path. So it's a longer form course that focuses on those four aspects and doing different drills that improve your ability to control those four aspects of contact, right? Um, the ball then turf masterclass is isolating the ground contact portion of that, and then is more intense kind of drills. It's a little shorter course, and it's more intense, in depth, more kind of drills. Really, really focusing on that ground contact. So it's similar in what you're working on, but the drills are different, and they're more expanded because there's more drills and stuff. There's less drills for specifically ground contact, and then also in the ball striking masterclass, you're combining. So in the ball then turf course, you're focusing on getting ball then turf. Then you're focusing on making sure you're doing it the right way, right? Whereas in the ball striking masterclass, you're not necessarily focusing on doing it the best way. You're just focused on just doing it, however you do it, right? So that's kind of how that works. As far as when they're going to open up spots for it in the future, I really don't know. Unfortunately, I'm not in on when they decide to. I'm not in on like the marketing team and when they open up stuff. But I assume, I don't know when the last time we sold it was, but probably within the next month or two would be when they would want to uh, sign up, or when they would want to send out. I don't really know though. Sorry, I wish I was in on those meetings, but actually I don't wish I was in on those meetings, but I wish if they would just give me that information, that'd be fine, but they don't. What I would say is, if you struggle with ground contact, that's something you really struggle with, I would consider just doing the online lessons, because I can't remember how much the ball then turf course is, but I don't think it might even be more than like a month of lessons with me or another instructor, and we can give you I can look at your swing and tell you specifically what you need to do. So that might be something to consider. Like if you want to get some help right now, that I would consider probably doing that. If you click the link above the video here, you'll see it talks about the online lessons there, or you can go to the instructor tab and then select the online lessons or swing reviews. I'm not sure what's noted on there is, but that's what I'd recommend doing if you're wanting to get help right now. Let me see what it's on here is. It says, yeah, swing reviews, parentheses, online lessons is what they call it. So if you go to the instruction tab, the drop down there, from the drop down, there's swing reviews, parentheses, online lessons. If you select that, that'll bring you to the page where you can select the instructor. I don't know who all has spots available right now. Let me see here. I think I have a few spots available. So if you're interested, but I don't know about Ronnie. All right, we got plenty of time left here if we got some more questions. Do my best to answer them. I don't always know the answer, especially if it's like stuff when we're going to have stuff available. They just don't put me in the loop on that stuff. So BK says, is there a difference in weight shift for irons and driver? Yeah, I would say there's a difference because you're trying to do different things. With a driver, we're a little bit more aggressive with the driver. It's more speed oriented, right? We're trying to get club head speed. We're also trying to stay behind the ball a little bit more. There's going to be a little less lateral movement, right? So for a driver, if we just pretend like this is a driver here, I'm going to tend to be a little bit wider, right? I'm going to tend to push into the ground more to create more ground force to be able to accelerate the club more, right? So, if you watch me, I'll go into my right side. I'm going to swing this club back, and then I'm going to be shifting into my lead side. I'm going to be shifting more aggressively, trying to get as big a turn as I can. And then when I come in, I'm going to try to, as soon as I get my pressure to my lead side, I'm going to be pushing away from that, so that way I can stay behind the ball and hit up on it, right? But for an iron, right, because we're doing different things, right? A driver, I'm trying to get club head speed. I'm trying to hit up on the ball. So because of that, I'm wider. I'm shifting more aggressively. I'm staying behind the ball more, so that way I can up on it. For an iron, I want to have fairly consistent speed, right? I don't want to deliver the club with varying degrees of speed. And when you're more aggressive with your swing, sometimes you may sequence really, really well and you'll get a lot of speed. And then sometimes the sequencing may be a little bit off and you won't get as much speed. Whereas if I'm a little less aggressive, my overall speed is going to be lower, but I can be more consistent with the amount of speed that I'm delivering. And that's going to allow me to be more consistent with my irons, because I want to know the number that I'm hitting my iron, right? I don't want my 7 iron to go 170 sometimes and 190 sometimes. I want it to go 180 every single time, if at all possible. That's the goal, right? So I'm not going to be shifting as aggressively. And then also, because with an iron, I'm hitting the ball off of the ground, right? So I need the bottom of my swing to be in front of the ball. For a driver, I need the bottom of my swing to be behind the ball, so that way I can hit up on it. But for an iron, I need it to be in front of the ball, so that way I can hit down and through it. So generally, I'm going to be a little less wide with my stance here. I'm going to be a little less aggressive with my weight shift. Right now, the timing and everything is going to be very similar. I want to shift my weight to my trail side early. By about this much, or about this way back in my backswing, I want to start getting my momentum to move forward, right? But with an iron, I'm going to continue to get my momentum going forward a little bit longer, so that way I can get the bottom of my swing to be more in front of the ball, right? And that's going to allow me to be able to make ball first contact and again, be more consistent with the iron. So The timing of the weight shift isn't going to be much different, but the movement of your body is different because you're trying to do different things with different clubs. I think people a lot of times get in trouble because they have this idea that my driver swing is going to be the same as my iron swing and all this stuff. Your swings are going to be different because you're going to be doing different things, right? It's the same reason why your chipping swing is not the same as an iron swing, right? Because with a chipping swing, if I hit it the same as my iron swing, I'm going to hit it a mile over, right? So I'm trying to do something different, right? So that's what we have to understand. Even though it's a full swing, right? Driver and iron, it's a full swing. It's not the same swing because you're trying to do different things. There's going to be a lot of similarities, right? But it's not going to be the exact same because you're doing different things. You know, it's different tool. It's a different tool. So you're trying to do something different with it. And because of that, the swing is not going to be the exact same. So if you have the idea that I'm going to get my driver swing and my iron swing to be the exact same, then, or if you're in the boat where you hit your driver really well and your iron's bad, or vice versa, you hit your your irons really well and your driver bad, it's probably because you're trying to rope those into the same thing. But if you separate them and think, okay, with my driver, what am I trying to do with my driver? And then you swing your club, you move to create that, and then you do the same thing with an iron, right? What am I trying to do with my iron? Now I'm going to swing so I can achieve what I'm trying to do with an iron. You'll be more successful. But if you're trying to rope them together, you're usually going to be good with one and terrible with the other, and vice versa. So think about what you're trying to do with the club. Make the swing that accomplishes that, right? And it's going to typically be a different swing when that is the case. Good question, though. Thanks for asking. All right, keep the questions coming here. Got plenty of time. About 30 minutes left here. So BK says, thanks, Q. I seem to feel like I'm hanging back with my weight with driver, maybe afraid to do too far forward. Can you show weight shift for driver? BK, you can go to YouTube and search any tour player you want, and you can see the weight shift. The reason why is you need to shift your weight, but as soon as you get your weight to your lead side, you need to push away from that and stay behind that, right? That's the difference. So with an iron, I'm going to be shifting my body more forward, so that way I can get my weight shift. But that way I can get my low point in front of the ball. With a driver, I'm still shifting my weight, but I'm going to push away from that sooner, so that way I can stay behind it, right? That's really the difference there. But if you want to analyze the weight shift, choose any of your favorite players, go to YouTube and search. For instance, you can search Adam Scott, face on, driver, and you'll see, you can watch it over and over and over and over and over again. Any of the videos, the reason why I'm telling you to do that is because that's going to be way better than me demonstrating it here, because you're going to be able to take the video and slow it down and look at it kind of frame by frame, whereas you're not going to be able to do that on live video, right? And also, I can't really swing a driver in here, right? To really show you. I can do it maybe kind of like in slow motion, like I just did, but that's still probably not quite going to be exactly the same. So what I'd recommend doing is go to YouTube or go on the website, look at any driver video, and you'll be able to see the weight shift there. No problem, BK. Glad to help. All right, let's keep the questions coming here. All right, we got about 25 minutes left. If we have any more questions, if not, no big deal. All right, if you're just jumping on here, we got about 20 minutes left here. I'll stay on right up until noon as long as we have questions. So yeah, keep the questions coming if you got them. If not, no big deal. I'm just answering emails and stuff, so no big deal. All right, we got about 15 minutes left. If we got any more questions, folks. Reason why it's quiet is because we just don't have any more questions. So if we got more questions, feel free to ask. If not, no big deal at all. All right, we got about 10 minutes left. If we have any more questions. All right, we'll go ahead and wrap it up right there. Thanks everybody for joining me. We'll be back here Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Quick note: next week we will not have office hours on Thursday or Friday. I'm going out of town, but we'll be back the Monday after that. So just be aware of that. It'll be noted in the on the office hours page. So anyway, everybody have a great rest of your weekend, and I will talk to y'all next time.